highlighting that, Mr. Johnston. Please stay with us as we come back to you for our next discussion as well. Now, moving on, Russian President Vladimir Putin has received a personal request from U.S. President Donald Trump to hold strikes on Kyiv until February 1st, aiming to create a favorable environment for peace talks. Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov has declined to provide further details on Russia's response. Ukraine has stated it would reciprocate by refraining from attacks on Russian energy infrastructure if Moscow stops its strikes during the current cold weather. The next round of trilateral peace talks between Russia, Ukraine, and the U.S. was scheduled in Abu Dhabi, though Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky indicated that the date and location may change. Now, for this discussion, we welcome back Mr. David K. Johnston. He's an author and journalist, joins us live from New York. Thank you very much, Mr. Johnston, for staying with us. Now, again, what is this, request? Why is this coming at this timing? Is this also a part of his strategy, Trump's strategy, to gain back some popularity or votes?
Well, first of all, Donald doesn't really have strategies. He lives in the moment. He's not a long-term thinker. He deals with tactics, short-run tactics, not long-run strategy. Asking the Russians to hold off for 3 days, which is what this boils down to, is pretty insignificant. The Russians have seen that this is going to not be the quick war they expected 4 years ago. It is rather a war of attrition. And so the longer they can drag this out, the greater they believe are the chances that they will eventually conquer. And that's what they're doing here. Conquer Ukraine, take away the freedom of the Ukrainians and put them under the Kremlin's boot, just as people were during the Soviet era. And Trump is so believing and trusting in Vladimir Putin that he has said he does not trust any of the American intelligence agencies, but he takes Vladimir Putin at his word. I mean, that is unbelievably naive and gullible. And the fact that he just put up this picture in the White House of himself with Vladimir Putin speaks volumes to the fact that without doubt, Donald Trump is regarded by the Kremlin as an asset. Whether or not he's an active agent is another question, but there is no doubt that he is seen by the Kremlin as an asset to them.
Right. And now that, Ukraine has Ukraine is not sure that where exactly will this next talks take place. Where do you think could be other than UAE?
Oh, it will be some neutral place where both the Russians and Ukrainians are comfortable and feel there's adequate security. You're not going to see any talks in Kyiv or in Moscow. Security for both sides will be absolutely crucial. Vladimir Putin can't step outside of certain countries because he would be arrested as a war criminal. And Zelensky has to be concerned about his own safety because the Russians have a long history of assassinations. They, for example, killed the helicopter pilot who defected to Ukraine. He went off to live in Mexico and they hunted him down and murdered him. So security is going to be very important. And Trump's followers are, many of them, deeply troubled by what's going on here because he promised them no more wars. We're going to get out of these foreign entanglements. We're going to be America first. And that's not what they're seeing. They're seeing Trump saying, we're going to, if necessary, invade Cuba. We're going to take the Panama Canal. We're going to force Canada into becoming the 51st state. I don't expect any of those things to happen, but the bellicose nature of Donald Trump is coming very much to the fore because he has no constraints on him and no one around him telling him, hey, you're out of your lane. You were doing things that are extra constitutional. You need to pull it back. Nobody around him is telling him that.
With that, I would like to thank Mr. David K. Johnston for joining us today and sharing that insight. Now we move